Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Akashic readings. Does life exist on other planets? What is the truth of the Bermuda Triangle mystery? Can I find out about my past lives? The hallways of Kala Chakra hide many answers. Get answers to all these questions and more directly from the source, the Cosmic Archives. Cosmic Archives are the mystical records of all the events, words, thoughts, and actions that have ever happened in the cosmos. The time shaft can be rewound and fast-forwarded for answers that only a living incarnation can access. Now, for the first time, a living avatar who is the embodiment of the cosmos itself opens himself in a language that we can understand. Akashic Readings. Google the Cosmic Archives.
Nityanandam Jnanapatiti Manual under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, Due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn. Beyond form, formlessness is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created. Destruction need to be created. And pulling out of delusion need to be created. Liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, throbhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 face, Ishana Murti as 5 face, Vamadeva Murti as 5 face, Agora Murti has 5 face, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 face. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 face, Agora Murti has is 5 face, Vamadeva Murti has is 5 face, Satyojata Murti has his 5 face, Ishana Murti has his 5 face. All these 5 Murtis, 5 faces put together is 25 faces of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a supreme pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has made science of our manifestation, yoga, temple-based university for humanity, Sovijian order of Kailasha led by His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam and Nityananda order of monks, nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time-capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas, exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada, then all other Akhadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. When you choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity which is authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. Diksha or the initiation from His Divine Holiness Nityananda Paramashivam makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas are the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas are the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state.
Nityananda Jnanapadati for Akashic reading. Powerful cognition from Bhagavan Satsang, Living Advaita series.
I feel still I have not yet explained that one concept which I started explaining from day before yesterday. So I'll continue to expand on that little more detailed way so that it can be absorbed as an experience for all of you. Listen. Please listen with all your attention. The constant happening of life can be perceived as a constant rebirth or a constant death. If you perceive it as a constant rebirth, you will experience the beauty of life. If you perceive, listen, if you perceive life as a constant rebirth or constant death, both the ways, whatever way you may be perceiving, life is not going to change. Please understand. Reality does not wait for your acceptance. I think I need to give more examples, then you can grasp what I am saying. You can catch what I am saying. Whatever need to be taken away from you, when that is taken away, your hue and cry, non-acceptance, screaming, shouting, cursing, all that will neither stop nor reduce the speed of those things being taken away from you. Same way, whatever need to be showered on you, your blessing, your praising, all those things will not multiply the things which is going to be showered on you. Please listen. Praising God or life or Guru is not to please them but to keep you in a pleasant space. Understand? Be very clear. Praising God or Guru or life is not to please them but for you to be pleasant. Never ever think you can bribe Mahadeva. No. If you are in the mood of praising them, you will be in the pleasant space. That is the result, that is the fruit of praising gods, goddesses, doing Sahasranama, doing Archana, Vandana, Bhajana, Pujana, Seva, worshipping, chanting, serving, praising, all that is for you to be kept in the space of pleasantness. Bribing Mahadeva is not possible. Listen, no bribing is going to work. You can't bribe him. You can't bribe him. I want every one of you to do this homework today. Sitting with yourself and seeing what all the aspects of your life you feel you are having rebirths. What all the aspects of your life you are feeling you are dying. Health. Just see and pen down. Do I feel I am reborn constantly or I am dying constantly? After every day, am I feeling I am reborn or am I feeling I am dying? In my relationship with my mother, am I getting reborn every day or am I dying every day? Relationship with my father, am I getting reborn every day or am I dying every day? Relationship with my spouse, am I getting reborn every day or am I dying every day? Please understand, just this simple awareness shift. If you just bring the awareness, the way I am able to move my back, my body movements, am I getting reborn every day in that, or am I dying every day? The way I am able to handle the shocks of life, even if it is a small tremor, am I making that as an earthquake? Or even if it is an earthquake, am I just standing like Pashupatinath? Understand, I want you to know, such huge tsunami, not a single temple got washed away. In India, that big tsunami, it is shocking because Tiruchendur, Kanyakumari, in all those places, every day wave touches the temple compound. Suddenly, in those areas, ocean is withdrawn. Not a single temple got destroyed. And such a huge Himalayan tsunami, Kedarnath is standing. He is just standing. Much stronger, modern, recent day RCC buildings disappeared. Kedarnath is standing. Nepal, not even one crack. Pashupatinath, so many other things collapsed. Pashupatinath is standing. I tell you, our Hindu temples are designed in tune with all the Panchabhutas. So Panchabhutas don't destroy Hindu temples. The sixth Buddha, stupidity of human beings, that only destroys Hindu temples. Even that is not able to destroy South Indian temples. See this Kailashnath temple in central India, Aurangzeb has deployed a huge army. After working on it for almost 2 years, they were only able to damage it, they are not able to destroy it. 2 years, around 10,000 people were breaking. Finally, they got tired and went away. They were not able to demolish it. They were only able to damage it. Anyhow, listen. In every aspect of your life, are you dying day by day? When the life is happening, are you feeling you are dying, or are you feeling you are being reborn? Actually, this simple awareness shift, naturally you will want to be reborn. So you will catch where all you are unaware and dying. Where all you are unaware and dying. And you will see automatically you plan for constantly being reborn. Please understand, this planning to be reborn will make you reinvent yourself. This ability to reinvent yourself in every aspect of life, the ability to reinvent yourself, I can say final prasada, result, gift, the essence of this Kathopanishad is awakening your ability to reborn and reinvent yourself. That's all. Please understand. Yamadharma from the Kathopanishad is awaken your ability to reinvent yourself. Awaken your ability to reinvent yourself. Life itself, whether you want your health, you want wealth, you want joy, you want bliss, you want contentment, you want completion, you want relationships, you want enlightenment. Life itself, it is just the science of reinventing yourself. If you know how to reinvent yourself in the same body, you will know how to reinvent yourself when you leave the body also. Ability to reinvent yourself even when you leave the body is conscious birth. Ability to reinvent yourself while you are in the body is enlightenment. Listen. Constantly reinvent yourself. For the reinvention, the first thing you need to do, you should be capable of dropping the past as past. Past has no meaning to you other than making you understand it has no meaning to you. Understand? Past has no meaning to you other than making you understand it has no meaning to you. I tell you, the only lesson you need to learn from past is don't be affected by it. And with all my responsibility, I am telling you, there is nothing good you need to learn from past. You go on justifying yourself, making you believe, no, from the past mistakes I will learn. No one learned. Relax. No one learned. Relax. It's a stupid illusion, delusion. In the name of, I will learn from past mistake, you want to go on be brooding about it? No one learnt it. Relax. No one built Taj Mahal for love. Even Shah Jahan did not build for love. It is stupid theory being invented. The amount of lies told about Indian history to us, oh God. The amount of lies. If you carbon date the door of Taj Mahal, suddenly it says 1,000-year-old. And these fellows go on pushing us to believe that Taj Mahal is built by Shah Jahan. Is there no limit for stupidity? And there are tons and tons of evidences. It was Shiva temple. When some researchers, scientists, archaeologists try to reveal this, he is silenced brutally. Anyhow, let us come back to Kathopanishads. Listen, ability to reinvent yourself. ability to reinvent yourself. I think I need to expand on this. Only then I'll feel complete that I've introduced the subject matter of Kathopanishad. Past has no power over you. Past has no place in your life. Do not have the desire to learn from past. Do not think something good can come out of brooding over your past. Don't dream from past your future can grow. No. Completely discarding your past can create lot more space and possibility in you than trying to pick up the lessons from the past. It's like in villages. They will grow hen, chicken in the house. They will run around and be constantly playing on the dustbin or where they put all the dirt in that corner. It will try to pick up some worms and everything. Just like that hen or chicken, don't play with your past. It is dustbin. How much ever, whatever you may want to pick up from the dustbin, the final result will be dump me and go and live your life. That is what past can give. The ultimate lesson your past can give to you is leave me and go and live. Leave me and go and live. Ability to discard past. When you drop the past, life becomes a possibility. Greatest possibility. Whenever I read the great saints, sages' life, Valmiki, Arunagirinatha Swami, not Arunagiri Yogeshwara, Arunagirinathar, a saint lived in my native place, Thiruvannamalai. He was born and brought up in Thiruvannamalai. Ramadasa, Kanagadasa, Purandaradasa, Vittaladasa, the Dasa Sampradaya Bhaktas. Whenever I read their histories, stories, one of the most important point strikes me is their ability to reinvent themselves, and the moment they decided to reinvent themselves only is claimed as their enlightenment moment. Please understand, the moment when they decided and declared they will reinvent themselves, that moment only is considered as their enlightenment moment. That moment only is attributed as the moment when God gave darshan to them, when they are awakened, or the moment of spiritual enlightenment and experience, whatever. It is just the moment they decide to reinvent themselves. Please understand. Decision to reinvent yourself. Decision to reinvent yourself is the essence of Kathopanishad. Brahmaswarupa is messaging me, when you leave the past, your life becomes fast. Relax. You don't need to supply quotes from me, and this quote is wrong. When you leave the past, your life becomes feast. Not fast. Life becoming fast means restless. When you leave your past, life becomes feast. Not just fast. Good. I have not become that poor where Brahmasrupa can give me quotations. I already wrote the poem as I committed with you all yesterday. See, it has come out in the style that my spontaneous style, how I sang a few days before in satsang about the love of Mahadeva, love current of Mahadeva. I am just sitting and referring because I wanted to make this as a traditional poetry, not the modern poetry. In Tamil, there's two sections, Marabu Kavidai, Pudu Kavidai. The two sections are there. The traditional poetry and modern poetry. In traditional poetry, there are grammars for the poetry. My spontaneous expression, I do not know how much it has aligned to the grammar, so I'll take few days to align them to the grammar, because I used to, in 1995, 96, in those period, I used to write this traditional poetry without missing the grammar, without missing the traditional Tamil grammar. Tamil grammar is something far, far deeper, complicated than Sanskrit grammar. Please understand, I am not disrespecting.
For the power of remote viewing or Akashic reading is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 84, Dharana 61. Akasham vimalam pashyan kritva drishtim nirantaram stabdhatma takshanad devi Bhairavam vapurapnuyat Akasham vimalam pashyam Kritva drishtim nirantaram Stabdhatma takshanad devi Bhairavam vapurapnuyat
Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 84, Dharana 61. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, looking at the spotless infinite etheric space, Akasha, beyond the sky and clouds, one should fix one's gaze without blinking continuously and make the body and the inner space steady and motionless. In the very moment, O Devi, one attains the nature of and powers of infinite space, Bhairava. Bhagavan beautifully says how we are the people who have to raise ourselves. There's no use of past because past we have not lived that I am Paramashiva. Only from that context, only from the thought, only from that word. In every moment, every thought, every action will relieve you from the past. The past is full of confusion, chaos, your identity, the mind which has created the identity, which is why we suffer and go on getting confused. If you unclutch from that and start living from the space, I am Paramashiva. Even if I'm depressed, I'm a depressed Paramashiva. Even if I'm chaos, I'm a chaos Paramashiva. Go on living that space of Paramashiva. Simply now you can shift the future into the ultimate. Unclutch from the past, establish yourself in Paramashiva, and go on doing Ajaba Jaba. The word inside you is the world outside you. Bhagavan so beautifully says, Ajaba Jaba of Paramashiva again and again will make you Paramashiva outside also. Suddenly you will see the Paramashanta Swarupa, the inner space, suddenly settling down very beautifully because there is nothing. The restful awareness occurs because Paramashiva in you, there is no past. Suddenly the past has vanished and you are established in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, continuously living in that beautiful oneness with Paramashiva, more and more deeper and more profound. The whole shift will happen. But if we fall into the past that nothing is happening, simply again and again, we go back and live only that past, forgetting what we can do. The vicious cycle should be made by us by unclutching from the virtuous cycle, the vicious cycle, and make it virtuous cycle for us to stand up that we are Paramashiva. The state, space, powers, being of Paramashiva is where I exist. Establish yourself. Otherwise, continuously, life is death. It keeps pulling you down and destroying you with all your incompletion. Again and again, re-establish yourself that it is Paramashiva who you are and why you're breathing, why you're speaking, why you're seeing. Again and again, establishing it, unclutching from that old past and living that Ajaba Ajaba. The word makes it world for us. Continuously, Paramashiva is our world. Paramashiva is doing this. Paramashiva is showing this. Whatever wrong is happening is also Paramashiva showing for whatever reason he's showing. Establish yourself again and again. Bhagavan says you can raise to a new consciousness of oneness with Paramashiva. With such a powerful cognition, let's go to Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana, power of seeing the scores through Akashic reading. Drona, identifying the excellence of and dedication of Arjuna while they were studying in Drona's Gurukul. This is from Mahabharata, Adi Parva, Shambhava Parva, page 280, first paragraph. In Drona's Gurukul, one day when all the students were served night meal, a gust of wind blew and extinguished the lamp. All the young boys stopped eating and were shouting, but Arjuna continued eating, immersed in his thought. After a while, he realized that it was a pitch dark, but his hand is accurately feeding the morsel into his mouth. An intelligent and eager learner as Arjuna was, the same night Arjuna went out alone with his bow and quiver when others were asleep. He started shooting arrows from direction of sound in pitch darkness. After a while, Drona heard the sound of the hissing arrows lying on his bed and came out and saw the salute of Arjuna practicing hitting the target. Just guided by the sound, Drona understood that passion for learning, striving for excellence, dedication to his craft of Arjuna is unparalleled and could not be stopped. He was extremely happy as a teacher and told him that he would be his best disciple, nobody else. He declared that he would make Arjuna the greatest archer in the world because Arjuna possessed all the qualities of the good student: persistence, determination, hard work, and focus. Drona was only in the outer world context, giving Arjuna only the outer word confusion without giving him clarity of dharma. The Apta Pramana, we'll go to Atma Pramana. Atma Pramana, let's go listen to the Akashic reading. Akashic reading on death.
The life and death are not two different things. It is just continuous process happening in you as a natural force. Ultimately and finally, remember the realization this body is not away, apart from your cosmic soul. It is also an inclusive part of your eternally existing cosmic soul. These 7 truths can directly make you live deathless life. Deathless life is possible.
The next question is from Tyagarajan. Nityanandam, what should one do to be born in a spiritually conducive atmosphere?
It is in your hands. This moment you can make your life in such a way, rearrange and reorganize your life can be in a place which is spiritually conducive. When you can do, why are you expecting some remote roundabout methods to do it? After some time, the question you are asking is nothing but the outcome of postponing lazy mentality.
The next question is from Joyce. How many lives on an average do humans need to experience before they are completely liberated from all physical suffering?
There is no number. It depends on the intensity of the individual.
The next question is from Ma Manorama from Vancouver. Nityanandam Swamiji, beloved master, how does the whole in vitro fertilization affect the resulting being after birth? Since the conception will happen in a petri dish, will this affect the future person's connection to the infinite or the cosmos? Thank you.
No, this does not affect any way the possibility of the individual's infinite connection. This process was being followed for ages in the Vedic civilization. The Kauravas have been given birth only through this process. So, this process no way affects the individual's possibility to achieve enlightenment.
The next question is from Ma Aruna. Nityanandam, dear Swamiji, kindly throw light on the concept of birth, death and rebirth of souls till they attain liberation. I am thoroughly confused about this imperceivable game of the Lord, His patience, His monitoring system of each soul's progress till the attainment of the highest in as many janmas it takes, and is the number of janmas one soul takes predetermined?
There is no individual Lord monitoring each independent intelligence has innate tendency and the inspiration to grow from life to death, death to life, life to death, death to life, till it is completely disillusioned with the original delusion. It is separate from the whole. When the disillusionment, it is separate from the whole, itself has disappeared. When the individual soul is disillusioned from this very word, it gets back to its restful awareness. It is not the game played by somebody else and you are pushed into it to play. It is you are playing with yourself, by your individual will. Any moment you can just realize you are the center person of this game, you are the judge of this game, you are the umpire of this game, and get out of the game. Nobody is playing it. You are the umpire, you are the player, you are the audience, you are everything. Wake up to this reality and get out of this game. If you want, continue to play this game if you want, in the form of incarnation. The person who got out is Videha Mukta. Person who is continuing to play with the clear intelligence, he himself is enjoying himself, is living enlightened. Person who enters into others' game also and makes others realize they are playing the game and they are the embodiment of everything. They are the audience, umpire, player, and everything is incarnation. Space is thickest existence than water, fire, earth and air. Thought is more thicker existence than the space itself. Because they are thicker than the other, they are able to consume one another. Because fire is thicker than the water and earth, it can consume both. Because air is thicker than the fire, it can consume that. Because space is thicker than all other four, it can consume all the four. Thought is more subtle and thicker, powerful than all the five. So thought can consume everything. If you can sit and center your thought and concentrate, you will see directly all the five elements can melt and play as you want. So, space is not emptiness as you visualize through your bare naked eyes. It can be a channel. That is why the beings like Karna assumed the body using that channel.
The next question is from Jyoti. Dear Swamiji, it is said that people at one time were not born like how they now do through human parents. Could you please speak on this and whether it can happen again? Thank you.
Taking birth for human parents is only one form of birth. The possibility exists in multiple levels. You can take birth on a stone. The baby can be processed in an animal womb, in the tree, in the stone, on anything. As on now, human beings widely use only few methods, taking birth out of human womb and some other modern methods. But millions of methods existed to take birth.
The the Shakshi Pramana are the disciple devotees all over the world who have been initiated by Bhagwan and manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Here we have the testimonial of one of the devotees.
So how sweet it is to know what a teacher, and I've met Swamiji for the first time last year in July at the IA in Varanasi. So with that context, I wanted to share an experience I had with the Akashic readings, and those readings provided so much clarity and so much confirmation of the path that I had already been living and where I'm going. So when I first did the Akashic reading, I was like many other people, I wanted to know what past lives I had with Swamiji. I was a little hesitant because I was afraid of the answer. Maybe I didn't have any previous lives with him, or maybe I did. So I got the courage, I went to the Akashic reading and asked the question, what previous lives have I had with Swamiji? And they said, you had 2 previous lives. And I was like, okay, great, two lifetimes. And I said, so what did I do in these lifetimes? And they said, just in they only described one of them in that first reading, and they said, all you did, you lived with Swamiji and you manifested all of the powers. So I was like, wow, I manifested all of the powers. So I left the Akashic reading, and I was thinking, okay, so I had 2 previous lives of Swamiji. I'm here for the 3rd life. I'm not enlightened. Oh my God, the hell, what am I gonna do? So I decided to go back the next day and follow up with the question, because it reminded me of the day in Sadashivoham where all of the, some of the Balasants were on stage describing their past life experience. And I remember Tattvananda explaining how he missed enlightenment because he missed the listening. And I thought, oh my God, maybe that's me. So I had to ask. And so the next day I asked, did I miss enlightenment? And if so, how? And they said, no, you didn't miss enlightenment. You attained enlightenment, and you decided to come for one more time just to live with Swamiji. Yes, and if that wasn't fulfilling enough, I left that day and I was like, okay. And then I was telling different people in Nityananda Yogam, and they were like, whoa, and what time periods did you live with Swamiji? Were you with him when he was Meenakshi or any other form? And I was like, oh, they didn't say. So I had to go back the next day and ask. And my question to them was, what forms of Swamiji did I live with him in my past births? And they didn't give me the answer that I was expecting. All they told me was back to my 2 lives. The first life, I had the darshan of Patanjali, and that's when I started practicing yoga. And then the second life, I was living with Swamiji, spreading Swamiji through yoga. And that gave me such a click because I'm currently a yoga teacher now. Yoga just happens so easily to me. And also, I had this deep yearning. Since I met him in last year in July, this deep yearning just to be here, be with him. And they confirmed for me that my life purpose is to live with Swamiji, and that I would become an Adinavasi, and then my daughter would join the Gurukul. And I'm just so excited. And
Beautiful. Now let's go to the instruction and Pratyaksha Pramana.
Prataksha Pramana Scientific studies what can be measured, measuring the effect of being in enlightenment state. The science behind Akashic reading. As time exists simultaneously as a dimension of space, all energy or information, energy is nothing but subjective information, is waiting to be decoded depending on the parameters and objects used. To explain this with a simple analogy, electricity is coded energy and is decoded in an object called a light bulb, and thus manifests as the light. At a classical level, all information is stored in bits in computer language as a binary of 0 and 1, which is then decoded by the software of the computer. As mentioned earlier, at the quantum level, information is stored as qubits. These qubits of information are present across the entire fabric of the cosmos and represent the entire information held within the cosmos in time and space. Interestingly, at the quantum level, the binary system exists as 0 and 1 separately, but happens simultaneously and concurrently, such that both 0 and 1 exist at the same time. Information regarding past, present, or future of a quantum nature is available, waiting to be decoded, but at the present moment, there exists no technology in science which can work as a true quantum computer and has the software to understand all the information and underlying principles of the cosmos. Biologically, the human brain has been linked to the equivalent of quantum computer. An avatar in the form of being, like Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, is able to access the qubits of information stored across the cosmos as Akashic readings, as he himself is both the software and the hardware, the subject and the object of the quantum universe. Source taken from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 3, Akashic Reading, page 90. We will now introduce a video on Retrieve Your Akashic Records by the Avatar himself, Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, on the morning of 29th March 2011 at Biridhi Ashram, Bengaluru, India.
Please understand, any action you do just based on the physical body will leave its wave and the archive in physical layer. All your physical actions get gathered and archived in the physical layer of the cosmos. Understand? Even a small act you do, like a simple eating, gets recorded in your file in the cosmic physical archives. Same way, any small thought crosses your mind, like, I think I should go and lie down and sleep. Even this simple thought gets recorded in your mental layer as a file and stored in the cosmic archives. Anything happened from the beginning in all 7 levels, in all beings, is available alive. Understand? 3000 years before, when you were in the pig body or buffalo body or elephant body or dinosaur body, what you thought on particular day and particular moment can be retrieved without any corruption or mismanagement or alteration. Whole thing is available. If the action which you did is performed from the first layer, it will be available in first layer file. If it is from second layer, it will be available from the second layer file. If it is from third layer of your body, it will be available from third layer of the file. But one important thing is, billions and billions of first layer files are available. Millions and millions of second layer files are available. But only thousands of third layer files are available because people don't function from second layer and third layer. Understand? So when you go deeper and deeper and deeper, only few thousand or few hundred files are available from the seventh layer actions.
Each individual's DNA holds its personal Akashic records. Science says that the human species has evolved with a two-stranded DNA, which is found in every cell, which determines the form as well as the potential diseases and skills we can have. Scientists are very clear that what we think is not our original blueprint because we are able to study only one part of the DNA till now. The other unrevealed part, which scientists have not been able to study or logically understand its function, they have labeled as junk DNA or shadow DNA. Scientists are absolutely right when they say there are two parts in the DNA, and one part which they are able to study is responsible for the form and diseases. The other part is what is responsible for our spiritual gifts. I tell you, the other part is what carries all the siddhis and superhuman powers. I can say the part which is already discovered is junk DNA. The part which is not yet discovered, or maybe I can use the word yet to be realized, it is this part that contains information about who you really are on a level of spiritual beingness. It is that part to which I gave the name Jivatma, the individual consciousness, or individual self-DNA. It is that part which carries our divine personality. By His Divine Holiness Sri Nityananda Paramashivam.